we're just shooting about, talking about back cycling. Back cycling usually means you have a point, like say you're going from C to A minor. You want to back cycle before A minor by using a chord that'll introduce A minor. So you say to yourself, what's the 5 of A minor? The 5th is always what introduces a chord. Just like in G7. G7 is the 5 chord. Basically what that is the primary 5 chord of the key. Only one chord can be the primary 5, the 5 of the key. In the key of C, G7 will make you want to hear C. It opens the door to hear C. You have perfect cadence to C. So if you want to go to, say, the 2nd chord, and you want to make, you want to hear that chord, you would take the next chord, turn it into a 7th chord, and now that A7 would be called a secondary dominant because it's not the primary, only this can be, and that chord will make you want to hear that chord. Just as this chord made you want to hear the 1st chord. If you make this chord a 7th chord, it'll make you want to hear the 3rd chord. If you make the 1st chord a 7th chord, it'll make you want to hear the 4th chord. So that's what they mean by back cycling. You're in C, you want to go to F, you take the C, you change it to C7th, it'll make you sound like you want to go to F. Then you can keep doing this. In front of the 7th, you can put a minor chord, which is the 2. Like as you used to do 2, 5, 1, you can do 2, 5 of everything. So in other words, A7 goes to D minor, you could go E minor, A7, D7, or D minor 7, which is 2, 5 of 2.
All right, so maybe if you do something, maybe if you could make a simple progression, like 2 chords, and then say, well, okay, now I'm going to do the same progression, but I'll put a little back cycling in.
Right, so say you have, for example, G7, and then you go to C. So in front of that, you back cycle to the 2 chord, D minor. So now you have D minor, G7, what? C. So now you say, let me introduce D minor. And we said that was what? A7. So I'll put A7 in front of that. So now you have A7, that makes you want to hear D minor, which takes you to G7, and then you wind up at what? C. Now you say, well, what will introduce A7? Use another 2 chord of that, E minor. So now you have E minor, A7, D minor, G7, C. You're backing up in front of it, and you keep introducing what you had. This one, B7. See? Over here, you would play, so you'd have this. So here's what this sounds like. Let me have that guitar. You have, say, for example, C, and you want to go to C. So you first start off with C, 5, C. Now you want to put the 2 chord in front of the 5. Same progression. Now you want to put something in front of the 2. You want to introduce the A. Want to introduce the E. The E.
It's like a wedding, right?
Exactly. And you get married.
Wow.
So that's back cycling.
Cool.
Usually back cycle with 2, 5.
Cool.